Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Going Live on the Then Now Blading YouTube channel. I hope everyone's doing well today. Today, I'm going to discuss a few things. I'm going to go over some videos that have come out recently. One of them being the profile that Walt Austin just put out for his 40th birthday, the 40 Y'all Edit. We talk about Great Value Video by Ryan Binner and the Zine by Brandon Balog. I'm going to get into some edits that Fugi put out from the Come Down, which is pretty rad. And then I have some exclusive footage you haven't seen before from some skate parks in Austin, Texas, featuring skaters like Andrew Broom, William Isaac, and Julian Isaac. May he rest in peace. A very tragic passing of him last year. So I wanted to get into, firstly, some new merchandise that I've gotten for Big Wheel Blading. And one of them is the Big Wheel Blading Big Block t-shirt, which came in recently. What am I talking about? Sorry, this is the Done Now Blading t-shirt, Big Wheel Blading beanie. I have a new sticker for Done Now Blading. It's the Business Blading sticker. New coffee mug, Business Blading coffee mug with the Big Block Done Now Blading logo. I also have a blue variation of the Done Now Blading Big Block t-shirt. This shirt comes in sizes small through 5XL and lots of color variations in both white and black ink. And then I have the new Business Blading t-shirt, which is a graphic design by Adam Munoa. It's me with a Canon GL1 camera, big wheel blades, super awesome. Very pumped on that shirt. And I also had a couple of big wheel blading merch you might have not seen. These 5-panel hats. These are pretty rad. This beanie. I also have some big wheel blading t-shirts and big wheel blading sweaters, as well as coffee mugs. So you could check out all of the merch for the Now Blading on thenowblading.com, and which is thenowblading.com/shop. And for Big Wheel Blading, you can check it out at bigwheelblading.com. So first thing I want to get into is the new edit from Walt Austin. And Walt is, a legendary skater from back in the day I haven't seen much of him throughout the years, and he just dropped a new edit this week for his 40th birthday. And this is already, in my opinion, one of the best edits of the year. He is very creative in it. It's very creative. It's skating like I've never really seen from him before. So let's go ahead and check that out. The new edit from Walt Austin called 40 Y'all, and it's part of the official Sunday brunch. Let me know what you think about this section, because I think it's pretty awesome. I was just figuring out the software too. It has a lot of cool little banners. Like I mentioned, the Then and Now Blading merch is available at thenowblading.com/shop. And as well as the Big Wheel Blading merch at bigwheelblading/store. So yeah, this is a very cool edit from Austin. Have you guys seen this yet? Hey Lander, good to see you. Oops, there we go. All right. So if you guys have any questions throughout this live stream, let me know. I'm more than happy to answer anything you guys want to know. Just watch Austin. Walt Austin in this is very awesome skating. Sick. I want to know what he's been up to the past 10 years. 20 years, because he's shredding it. It's amazing to see some of these guys come back after so long not skating and then just killing it so hard, like Demetrius and like, you know, Louis and all these guys haven't skated forever, and then they come back and almost better than they were before. That was sick. Set sliding up to the backside set slide, kind of Dust Latimer style. Very cool. I'm not sure where he lives now, because he was from Atlanta, I believe, originally, right? Somebody should know this. Of the 6 people watching this right now. That was really sick. So is anyone going to Blading Cup that's in here? Because I'm contemplating going out there. It's just flying for me to California is a pain in the butt because the closest airport's 2 hours. And apparently they only have 1 TSA person, so it takes 2 hours at least to go through security on a tiny airport. What kind of skates is he riding? He's from ATL. Looks like he's riding Shadows, right? Or USGs? Maybe zoom in. Shadows, I believe. Unless we can see better than me. Let's make him full screen. Yeah, definitely Shadows. This looks like the desert somewhere, so he must be living in Arizona or Mexico someplace. All right, so that was it with that. There's another video that just came out from Ryan Binner, and it's called Great Value Video. And Ryan's made 10 videos throughout his career. This is the 10th one. And Ryan is part of the Flavor Crew, which is a crew of skaters from Ohio, based out of Columbus, Cincinnati, and Dayton. And this video features profiles on Eric Cromaris, Ryan Binner, Zach Cummins, Brandon Balog, Lane Weatherford, and Reed Houston. And Columbus is an awesome town. My girlfriend's daughter lives there, so I've go there occasionally, and I've hung out with some of these guys, skated with them. They're really cool dudes, awesome scene there. And this is a pretty fun video. We'll go ahead and check it out right now. Add it to the stream. All right. So this is Great Value from Ryan Binner. Just came out recently. It's being hosted by Big Homie Biz on the This Week in Blade YouTube channel. So I have a link to this video and all the other videos in the description below. This video also came out with an accompanying zine, which I'm going to get into. It's a zine by Brandon Balog, who's in this video. He's part of the crew. He sent me a couple of them, and they are really cool. It's a newsprint zine. Very awesome. Here we go. Great Value. And the cover was by Elliott Feltner. And it just has all these awesome photos that Brandon shot. Cool layout. Interviews by Eric Ramirez. Everyone who's in this video has some interviews in there. And it just talks about the whole scene. It's pretty rad. And I have a link to this on the description below where you can just check it out, order it. Great Value zine. And this is an awesome format. I think the only other zine I remember coming out in a newspaper format was Wheel Scene, but I think this is even possibly cooler. And this is issue 10. So apparently it's been almost a decade since he came out with the last issue, and it was an online zine from 2007 to 2012. He made a best of zine as well, which he also sent me. So it's all of the best parts of the old zines, as well as photos. And it's really cool. And that's by Brandon Balog. And I'm going to have Brandon on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. as a guest, and we're going to discuss this zine. So yeah, it's called Roll Zine. Link in the description below. And we will go through the history of it, how he got into making the zine, his photography, and all those topics. And that zine features, like I said, all the people from the video, as well as Tessa Del Castillo is the only other person. And yeah, I'm really stoked on this because, you know, I've mentioned this many times. I used to do a zine, and it was print, but it was like a small zine. And this is really awesome. And apparently, I read he never used skate photos in the covers. He just used friends. And the guy who made this cover, which was Elliott, their crew's called Flavor, and Elliott just started a brand called Flavor. So you can check that out too. I haven't added a link yet in the description below, but I will add that later. So you can check out all this cool stuff from Ohio that's happening. Like I said, I'll be talking to Brandon Balog tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, about Roll Zine and this video. Great value. Now, the video, Launder, was filmed by... so what I read is all these guys in this video had been making sections, you know, on Instagram and, you know, putting them on Facebook, just putting out clips or little small edits, like a lot of people have been doing throughout the years, you know, since full videos aren't really a thing anymore. And Ryan got them all together, and they spent a year filming for this video. So it's all filmed by different people in the crew, and they all saved their footage over a year and compiled it together for this video. So yeah, it's I like the fact that they did a full-length video. I missed the days of those. I think you know, so many edits will come out, they just get lost. They just get lost in the internet. And here we go. I made some titles, still figuring out how to use the software better. So this is Ryan, the creator of the video. And I don't know if anyone here is living in Ohio, but Ohio's always had such a really cool skate scene. So many people. And those old Bitter Cold Showdown contests were really fun. I went to several of those throughout the years. Has anyone here been to those? Because they were a lot of fun. They were chaotic, and crazy skating went down. They had trade shows, and they moved around from town to town in Ohio. And if anybody has any questions for me personally, feel free to ask them. I'm more than happy to answer anything you might have. Also, you know, this is a new format for me, so I'm trying to figure out what's fun for a live streaming show. I'm going to be doing some more interviews, which is going to be totally different. In fact, on Tuesday night is going to be I'm going to be launching episode 18 of the Dead Now Blading podcast, and that's going to be an interview with Connor O'Brien. And you know, most of you know who Connor is. He's a legendary skater. He's one of the hammer skaters from back in the day, growing up with Jeff Stockwell, E. McLeod, Nick Wood, Chris Haffey, you know, all those guys. And we sat down a few weeks ago and did an interview, and it came out really cool. It's very interesting. You know, he talks about his prime, talks about how the competitiveness of, you know, the hammer skating days made skating not fun for him, and, you know, how he really just enjoys skating today even more so. So that's pretty rad. And he never stopped skating. You know, you might have not seen him around, but Connor O'Brien has never stopped skating. So that interview premieres on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. here on Dead Now Blading YouTube channel. And it is one of the last pre-recorded interviews I'm doing for the podcast. The next two episodes after him are Luke Bender. And Luke Bender is the founder of the Mile High Battle in Denver. He's the godfather of the Denver rollerblading scene. He's been maintaining and running the Colorado Road Trip for a majority of its 20 plus years of existence. And, you know, he's an important figure in the Denver scene. So it's a really cool interview to talk about his work and cinematography and all that jazz, and his mini ramp, which is one of the coolest backyard ramps you'll ever see. And for the final episode of the Then Now Blading podcast in the pre-recorded form will be with Jeremy Baytall. Jeremy Baytall is a legendary artist that worked for Rat Tail, 4x4, all that. And it's a long interview. It was 4.5 hours. It's going to be broken up into 3 parts. And, Jeremy is the artist for Chroma. He's done a lot of work for Intuition. He's done a lot of work for bands. He's an amazing artist and a great friend. So it's a really interesting, in-depth podcast. That'll be episode 20 of the Then Now Blading podcast. And starting with 21, it's going to be a live-only format. So all the interviews on Then Now Blading will be live, moving on from episodes 21 and up. And so this is kind of a practice. Doing these live streams is a practice for me to be able to get comfortable with this software and talking with you all live. So I'm also going to be doing smaller interviews that aren't part of the podcast with people who are doing videos and zines, like I mentioned before, on Monday night, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. I'll be interviewing Brandon Balog, who did this zine. It's called Roll Zine. Really cool zine. If you missed it, lots of awesome skating photos. So check it out tomorrow night, 7 p.m. interview with Brandon Balog from Roll Zine. And I'm also going to be doing some panel discussions with multiple people. So I'm going to be doing one on zines, actually on skate zines. So I'll have people from zines who did zines in the 90s up until today. We're going to be discussing the process, why they got into it, and if you're interested in making a zine, how to do it. So, and if there's any topics you'd like for group discussion, panel discussions, let me know. I can organize that and get some people together. And Eric Lopez asks when the Baytall interview is dropping. I had just mentioned a moment ago that the Connor O'Brien one drops on Tuesday, 7 p.m. After that's Luke Bender, and then Baytall. And Baytall will be the final interview for the pre-recorded series. And that'll drop, I'm going to say, within the next week and a half, 2 weeks, all 3 parts of the Jeremy Baytall interview will be live. So it's going to be a good one. Awesome. Chanka podcast is pretty rad. If you speak Portuguese, make sure to check them out. They also have some shows in English when they have an English-speaking guest. It's Chanka podcast on YouTube. Very cool YouTube channel. I had mentioned it in the, what show was it? One of my new shows. I forgot the name of it. The Goods, the last episode of The Goods, episode 2, I talk about Chanka podcast. I did mess up and say they spoke Spanish, which was a mistake of mine. They are Portuguese. Other things I'm going to be working on this channel is the Vault. The next episode of Vault will be live as well. So I'll actually just kind of focus on talking about the episode, and then I'll be doing a Q&A afterwards. So if you have any questions about that episode, feel free to ask me. And Brandon is in the chat. Brandon, welcome. I'll be talking to him tomorrow. Like I showed you before, he did the zine, Roll Zine, and it's really cool. Something he did, but started back in 2007 to 2012, and I don't actually know if I saw it back then, but I'm very stoked that he sent me the new copy and the best of issue. Links in the description below. But we'll be talking about it all tomorrow night live here at 7 p.m. And very cool stuff. Now, is anyone going to Blading Cup? I think I asked earlier because I am contemplating going out there. I'm not sure the logistics because renting cars is so expensive now. Usually I would have flown to San Diego and rented a car and driven up there, but probably just do public transit or maybe stay in LA. If anybody's staying in LA, let me know where you guys are staying at, what hotels. I'd be interested in checking that out. It's only, let me see, I think the last time I went to Blading Cup was in Man, had to be like 2014, so it's been a long time. Travis, thank you for the support. Thank you for a super sticker. I appreciate it. That will go into the travel fund and the fund for getting more materials for this channel, like this software we're using right now. I had to pay for that, so that's going to help me for that. Thank you so much. And Megan, thank you as well. Some travel money. I appreciate it. Very cool. Now, I think with the skating happening this year, it's going to be really exciting now that everything's getting relaxed with traveling, because all these events have been getting really big, like Frank Morales and Blading Cup, but people haven't been able to fly. So now that people can fly from all over the world, there's going to be a lot of people at Blading Cup this year, I believe. It should be pretty exciting. And Launder, you're going to go one day. Where do you live at? Are you out in Cali? Because right now I'm in the furthest away that I could possibly be from any skating related events. Okay, well, there's some up in Boston, but for real big ones like Blading Cup, Frank Morales, I'm in Vermont. It's very far, 2 hours from the airport. So it's kind of a pain in the butt to get anywhere. I prefer driving too. I like doing cross country drives, but with the price of gas right now, driving isn't really an option, at least driving all the way to California. So, yeah. There's a lot of really cool spots in Ohio. I haven't really been to Dayton, but I know Columbus is really cool, and that's where a lot of the spots in this video are at. Also Cincinnati. I spent a little bit of time in Cincinnati. I'd like to go back. The museum there is absolutely amazing. Sick. And I'm pretty sure, is this you, Brandon? This might be Brandon's section. I wasn't paying attention. Who I'm going to be speaking with tomorrow. All right, the next video we're going to watch is from Austin Fugi Bartles. I'm sure you're familiar with the Come Down. If not, you've been sleeping, because the Come Down is a really cool project from Austin, and they started making some shirts with Hunter Grimm, designed by Jeremy Baytall. Really rad shirts. I have one of those. I suggest getting one, supporting those guys. But Fugi is a dude from Austin, Texas. Yeah, Brandon. So this is Brandon, who I'm going to be talking to tomorrow, skating. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about his skating tomorrow as well, go ahead and save those questions. But yeah, so Fugi's actually from Tyler, Texas, which is the same town that Andrew Broom is from. Cody Sanders. It's a small town in East Texas. For some reason, it has a really huge skate scene. Fugi lived in Austin for a long time. When I did in the mid-2000s, when it was just the craziest hub of skating in Texas. And he ended up moving to Denver, where a lot of skaters from Austin and Texas ended up going, because it's a really rad scene. So this video to Come Down was filmed in Texas. Really cool music. I love his music choices. And then he started doing Come Down projects in Denver. And his newest project is Out of Tune. And we're going to get into that now. We're going to finish off. Was that a Come Down shirt? It could have been. So we're going to go ahead and finish off this great value video. I have a link in the description below. You can go ahead and check it out whenever you want. And we're going to go check out the intro from Austin Fugi's new video, Out of Tune, the Come Down. And right now, his video's in 3 sections. He put out the intro. He put out a bowl section, the Rosie Bowl, really rad, and the Downers edit. So 3 edits so far from that video. The last one comes out Monday, tomorrow, the final edit. And the one thing Fugi does, which drives me a little bit crazy, is he doesn't put out his sections, his videos as a full video. He always puts them out in sections. So he just posts one section at a time instead of posting a whole video, which I feel like doesn't get watched as much because some people only want to watch, most people watch the sections they want to see. So like when he did Come Down, most people watched Andrew Broom and didn't watch Mick Cassell's. So I think he should have, definitely put them all together as one edit. But nonetheless, all of his edits are really good. And let's check out the first one. And we will end the video. All right, to stream. This is dedicated to Julian Isaac. Julian Isaac was an amazing skater from Houston that passed away last year, tragically, survived by his twin brother, William. And I do have a bunch of footage of William and Julian for a section I'm working on. Today, we will be watching some footage after these videos of some skate parks in Austin, one house park, one Cedar Park. And I have footage of both Julian and William Isaac that have never been seen before, as well as some unseen Andrew Broom footage, and yeah, some other skaters as well. So every episode of Going Live, I will be showing a different skate park from Texas and Denver and from different places around the world that I filmed at that have never been seen by anyone before. So yeah, and that's Heath Burley. Heath is my ginger brother, rocking the Low Life shirt that was made as a tribute or reprinted as a fundraiser for Julian Isaac. Andrew Jacuzzi back on blades. Such an amazing skater. Really cool to see him skating again. And let's see here. And then Adam. I mean, what a hammer skater. So sick. So we're watching Out of Tune by Austin Fugi Bartles. This is the intro section. Ray Cronenberg. He's also one of my favorite skaters, and he's someone I've never met before. So seems like a really cool dude. I like the selection. I like, obviously we're not playing music right now just because you can't play it on YouTube. It messes up the monetization, but Fugi's music choices are really good. I have links to his Come Down YouTube channel in the description below, so you can watch all these edits with the music and all their glory of this awesome crew. And right here, this is Jared Banning. Jared Banning is someone who will be coming on the podcast in the near future because he's just a badass skater from Texas, and he also lives in Denver. TK, another Texas skater from Tyler that moved to Denver. I think he's back in Austin now. So yeah, Austin and Denver, very like cool scene, kind of uniting Austin and Colorado skaters, or Texas and Colorado skaters together. So another section in this video that he put out is from a bowl. It's called the Rosie Bowl, and we're going to watch this thing. It's awesome. I didn't even know this existed, but it is in Denver, and apparently this is where they skated all winter long. And it's a really cool bowl. Let's skip forward a little bit. The Rosie Bowl. There we go. All right. This place looks sick. I definitely would love to skate this. Well, I think I would have loved to skate that a lot more before my injuries and my broken back and all the problems I've been having lately. I'm having a lot of like gut problems and infections on my finger. I don't know. It's been a weird year with injuries and everything and health. And the doctors say everything's fine, but something weird is going on. And that's little Mick. Mick is the man. He's very cool dude. He just had a pro wheel from Bloom. Definitely check that out. Bloom has wheels, and 10% of all sales go to a profit of the rider's choice. And Mick's nonprofit is rain.org, which is the sexual abuse hotline. So it's a good charity to support. Mick's also going to be one of the first interviews I do live for the Now Blading podcast. So it's going to be, we're going to do his interview in mid-April. So yeah, should be pretty exciting. And we got Spira skating the bowl right now, I believe. Yeah. Germany's super rad. We went with them to Winter Clash a few years back, me and my friend Jared McBay, and he came with me to visit my family in Germany. We skated in Stuttgart, some cool skate park there with my cousin's son, which was a lot of fun. So yeah, good times traveling with Spira in Germany. And he's definitely, been around for so long. Used to ride for Vicious, rode for NIM, so rode for SSM, been part of the family of ours for quite a long time. So always fun to see Spira in Colorado. It's awesome to see his new edits. He's still killing it super hard. Such a great skater. So we're not going to watch the last section he has up, the Downers edit. I'm going to leave that for you all. So after this Rosie Bowl section, I'm going to show you some exclusive footage never seen before by anyone except myself and the people who were at the sessions when it was filmed. And this is some footage from Austin, Texas. One of them's House Park Skate Park. Another one's from a suburb of Cedar Park, which is at Brushy Creek Skate Park. And yeah, so this feature Andrew Broom, William and Julian Isaac, Cody Sanders, and basically a continuation of the same Austin style people as in this video. There's Mick again with the Forever Julian shirt. Very cool. All right. Before I get started with the footage from Texas, does anyone have any questions that you would like me to answer for episode 3 of Going Live? All right, well, looks like a no. So let's add the video to the stream. I'm going to full screen. Oh, wait. Sorry. Okay, we're going to watch this. This is the last section I said we were going to watch. This is the Downers edit. I forgot to load the skate park file, which I'll do right now. All right, so this is House Park Skate Park. And we got Cody Sanders with a 6.720 off the shark fin. This park was really rad. I would skate here, probably like, that was William Isaac. And then this is Julian Isaac, rest in peace. He passed away last year. Such an amazing skater. Twin brothers. Very, very sad for William. Now this park I would skate at multiple times a week. Every Monday we skated this park in the mornings for 5 years. We would meet up at 6 a.m. in the summer because it's so hot, and then in the winter we would meet up around 8. We got Creel from Bloom right there with a few tricks back when he used to live in Texas. This is around 2014. There was a lot of skaters. Now this is Biff from Boston, Brandon Ford. He came to Austin to visit his friend James LaMarche. This is the first time I met Brandon, and since I've lived on the East Coast, I've actually hung out with him a few times and stayed at his house. But this is all from Cedar Park Skate Park in Austin. And this is a pretty cool park. We used to do Thursday night skates here, had good lighting, and I actually have some clips that I got at this park, and some videos from Jay Gehrig. So yeah, I'll have to pull those up. The thing with skate parks is I actually don't have a lot of skate park footage because skate parks I generally skated at all the time. So when it came to street, okay, Andrew Broom, look, check this out. Oh, that was so sick, right? Backside around the corner to True Kind Grind. Never seen before. But yeah, I always filmed at skate park. I mean, I always skated at skate parks, so I didn't really film too much at skate parks. So I didn't get a lot of footage parks. Most of my footage is street skating. That was so sick. Andrew Broom. And I have the archive I have of Andrew Broom footage. I have about 2 sections worth of Andrew Broom footage that will be coming out soon. That's absolutely mind-blowing from this era of the mid-2010s. And yeah, this park, very cool. And that's James LaMarche. James LaMarche from Boston, who lives in Austin now. And he's who Brandon Ford came to visit. This was right when he kind of got back into biting. And he's ever since then he's been blading quite a bit. Goes to events. Sometimes I'll see him out here on the East Coast. Back when they used to have some of the right airflow contests, which is no longer around, unfortunately, shut down during the pandemic. I definitely miss skating these parks. You know, I have 2 parks by me, but they're nothing compared to the quality of these 2 skate parks. And that quarter pipe right there, these skating, was one of my favorite spots to skate. Super sick. Don't want to mess it up. They used to have some contests out here. So the last clip from this park is of Matt right here, and that was super sick. That was from an old contest that happened out there, and about, well, before I moved there, so that footage is a little bit older, so that would have been about late 2000s. All right, let's get back to the full screen. That's what I have for videos. Doing a Q&A. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I do have some merch. Got these new business blading coffee mugs with the new Big Block logo on the back. I've got stickers and some other shirts as well. I'm stuffed on the business blading one. Ah, there we go. Super cool. Came out awesome. So, at the end of the day, how would you like to be remembered? I think I answered this question in the interview I did the other day with Ben, but I will answer this again. As far as me and skating, you know, I spent most of my career in the 90s, you know, from 1994 to 99. You know, I filmed all my friends. I started the Scum magazine, all to promote my friends in Texas at the time, like Jason Howard, Lonnie Gallegos, Shannon Rogers, and Mike Shields and John Farmer, and all those people. So I made a zine to promote them, to help them get known. And, you know, back then my whole goal in skating was to promote my friends and help them get out there and create content. And that's pretty much what I've been doing the whole time in my career with the skating, is trying to, you know, promote skating and promote skaters, and, you know, just be remembered as someone who tried to make a contribution to the sport of inline skating, to help it grow and to, you know, spread the love of people doing cool things within the sport. And max power. All right. Well, you can add him on Instagram and let him know. All right. So, any other questions? Anyone want to know anything about my history, about the brands, about Scum Magazine, about working at Daily Bread, about making videos? Let me know. Brandon Stargrave asks, have you tried any of the Wizard Style Big Wheel Rockford frames? Any thoughts on that new scene? So, I have tried the K2R100 frames, which are one of the earlier Wizard Style frames that came out. I didn't really get into them too much. When I got them, it was around 2014, and I was doing a lot of urban skating, distance skating, and aggressive skating, so I didn't really find the time to do some flat land skating like Wizard Style skating is. I also didn't have a good boot at the time for that frame. I had carbons that were kind of floppy. And anyway, as far as it being a new scene, it's not really that new. I mean, those guys have been doing it for over a decade now. But I really enjoy wizard skating. I think it's really cool. I think it's a cool technical style skating. I think it can really help your aggressive skating. And I think if you live in a place that doesn't have a lot of skate spots, it's something you can do anywhere where you find some asphalt. So, you know, for that, like, it opens up skating for a lot more people. and it's a very crossover style skating. Somebody who's like a rig skater or like a slalom skater, or even like a urban skater, they could all get into wizard skating, crossing over. And for wizard skating, you generally need a UFS skate, so that could lead people to aggressive skating. But now companies like NN and Endless also do have Trinity mount versions and 165 mount versions of their wizard style frames, which opens up wizard skating to different types of boots, which is also really cool. The next question I have: when did you get linked up with Shima and that whole crew? I definitely remember you in Lexington on Razor's tour when Shima ones came out. So I first met Brian Shima in 1999. No, let me take that back. I first met Brian Shima in 1998 when I went out to California with Lonnie Gallegos. We went up to San Francisco, hung out in that whole area, the Bay Area. I was filming a video called Urban Decay. I filmed with Brian. I filmed with Pat Lennon. I filmed with all the Bay Area guys. I had a section with Eric Garcia in that video, a section with Jared Majors and Robert Guerrero, all Bay Area skaters at that time. So that's when I first met him. Then I met John Elliott when he came to Austin in about 1997 on a Box Magazine tour. When I moved to San Diego in 1999, I worked at Daily Bread, and that's where I really became friends with John and Brian, filming them for Daily Bread videos. We all lived in the same area, work into the same type of stuff, same music, and became friends with those guys. And then Brian was living on my couch for a long time, and then we just started Rat Tail out of my house. So yeah, but basically, I really met him when I moved to San Diego to work for Daily Bread. And yes, Lexington, Kentucky. That was on the Razor Splits tour. That was a crazy time. Hellbelly's skate shop. I know one of the owners passed away from that shop, so rest in peace to him. Very tragic. But yeah, that was a crazy tour. It was 30 days of driving a 30-foot RV to like 18 states. And I was the only person on that Razors tour the entire time. We would switch out skaters every like 10 days. And, I filmed all that footage. And I liked I made a bunch of edits from that tour, and I think they're all pretty cool. It was a really fun time. I will do a episode on the Blitz tour sometime. I'll bring in some guys who were on it to reminisce about that. Okay, Brandon asked a question. Do you have anything digitally archived from Scum? So, Brandon, I do have all the online issues archived. I have everything. The whole online magazine is digitally archived. The print files are all gone. The hard drive that those were on was taken in the Rat Tail. So I don't have any of those files. I do have about half of the print issues still. I'm hoping now with the resurgence of blading that people kept some of them, because I did sell a lot of the print issues, and I'd like to track down the ones I'm missing so I can, photocopy them or scan them in or whatever, and rebuild the archive. So, but yeah, I do have a bunch of print issues, and I do have extras. So I will be doing a show on those, and I can make some of those available to people if they'd be interested in some Scum Magazine print issues. And I'll be figuring out a way to put the website back up. Maybe I will add the Scum Magazine website to the Then and Now Blading website for people to browse through. Now, I might have to edit some stuff out because there's some dumb content in there from being young and dumb, but for the most part, it's pretty cool stuff. Next question. What was your favorite video or videos? Was there one that inspired you to start filming? Well, so I've been filming since the early videos came out. Since they started making videos, I was already filming. I was filming on a VHS-C camera, and I filmed in a hue of blue, and I was editing on a VCR with a tape deck connected to it for audio, and it was very crazy. I have those videos still, and I'll be putting them on the channel eventually. I actually was thinking it'd be fun to get a VCR again and tape deck and try to re-edit on a VCR again, just for fun. Maybe do a little show about it. Now, growing up, favorite videos, in the early days, Harvesting the Crust was definitely my favorite video. I liked the music, I liked Steve Thomas, and I loved all of the crazy rail skating in that video. Shane Nelson shredding it. It was really, really awesome video. I think it was one of the first videos to just have a lot of like big rail skating. And then VG4 was my first favorite VG. VG3 was good, but I think like VG3 was a transition of the early skating. That was a VG1 and VG2, but VG4 was just amazing with the profiles and the music. And those were two early videos I really enjoyed. I think Transcend by Bo Coddington was a great video too. And that was the first Daily Bread video. I ended up making the 2 following Daily Bread videos after that, which was followed by Drew Backrack, who did the last Daily Bread video. So yeah. Anything else? Any other questions? I know for videos that I made, are you planning? Okay, Florian Hans, are you planning to film again? Do you still film? So I do still film occasionally. From 2012 to 2017, I was living in Austin, Texas, and I filmed all the time. And I have all that footage still. And I've like a lot of stuff came up, and I never put it together. Now, if you were here earlier, you got to see some of the skate park footage that I filmed back then. Which is, I filmed a lot in 2012 to 2017 with Andrew Broom, Nick Casals, Jason Howard, all the Texas guys. I spent a lot of time in Denver. I went to Europe. I filmed a lot 2012 to 2017. Post 2017, I moved to Vermont, where I'm not too close to skaters, but I have filmed a little bit in Boston. I plan on filming a bunch this summer. I don't really have a great camera right now. All I have is a GoPro 9 and a 360 camera, which I just finally used after owning for a year. I do have a Canon 7D, which I used to film all the footage in Austin, but it was very awkward filming with a DSLR versus a video camera. So anyway, to answer your question, I'll be putting out a video. I've been putting out some clips. I'm going to go ahead and replay the skate park footage that no one's seen before. That we watched a little bit ago. Let me see if I can put it back in the stream. We'll make it small. So to answer your question, Florian, this is some footage I filmed in the mid-2010s, around 2015, that you can check out. I'm going to kill the volume on it. So next question. Can you clear up something about Rat Tail Sunshine? I'm right in thinking Sunshine distributed GC frames, but Rat Tail distributed GC clothing. That is correct, Paul. And the reason that we did that is, well, John Elliott was the founder and co-owner of Ground Control with Andy Wagner of Sunshine Razors Distribution. And I don't know if you guys remember, but the shirts that Razors did in that era were pretty lame. Like they were kind of like done on a word processor program. And so, yeah, so what we want to do is we want to do a lot of cool art with Ground Control, but Sunshine didn't really like the direction of the clothing. They didn't want to sell it. And there was a lot of butting heads in the design aspect of the t-shirts and soft goods between John and Andy. So John basically made an arrangement where we got exclusive rights to do Ground Control apparel through Rat Tail. So it opened it up to a lot more art type shirts. So, all the big print shirts and all the art shirts and a lot of shirts I designed came out through Rat Tail, and they would have never been able to be done through Sunshine. So that was the reason, basically, that we took creative control of the soft goods of Ground Control. And Paul, thank you very much. The Vault stuff is, I haven't done an episode in a while. I'm actually going to start doing Vault live, where I just focus chatting about the sessions and then do Q&As afterwards. So that's coming up soon. It's It takes a lot of time to edit the vault and the podcasts. So those are going to be going live. If you're just tuning in, episode 18 of the Done Now Blading podcast with Connor Bryan comes out on Tuesday at 7 p.m. It's going to be one of the last pre-recorded ones. The following ones will be Luke Binder and Jeremy Baytall. And after that, all episodes of the podcast will be going live, as well as some of the vault episodes as a test to see how that goes. And CC asks, where do you live now? I live in Vermont. I live in a town called Lynnonville in the Northeast Kingdom. It's about 40 minutes south of Quebec. I'm 2 hours from Montreal, hour 45 minutes from Burlington, Vermont, 3 hours from Boston. It's very rural, but it's right in the middle of ski country and hiking and mountain biking. And we do have 2 skate parks here. Vermont has a lot of skate parks for a state of 700,000 people, probably about 70 parks. So it's not bad for skating. Also some trails, but not a lot of skaters. So that's the downside to it. Launder asks, how do you like the GoPro 9? The GoPro 9 is fantastic. For the price, you can't beat it. I use it for skiing. I use it for skating. I use it right now. Like this episode is being filmed with the GoPro 9. So yeah, I really like it. I have nothing bad to say about it, except in the wintertime, if you live someplace cold like I do, it will stop working because it's just too cold outside. Ryan, you are welcome. We didn't watch the entire video. We watched most of it. I do have a link in the description below. It is very cool. Great job. I will be on with Brandon Balog tomorrow at 7 p.m. If you're interested in jumping on as a guest with that as well, contact me or I'll message you. Let me know. But yeah, we're going to be doing that tomorrow night, 7 p.m. here live on the Done and Outblading YouTube channel with Brandon Balog, who creates Roll Zine, which is the accompanying zine with the Great Value video. Really cool project. Cool photos, like newsprint. Very cool. So 7 p.m. tomorrow, I'll be talking to Brandon about his zine. And he's actually been doing it for quite a while. Well, he did it for quite a while, and now he's doing it again. So yeah, should be pretty exciting. Nathan Moore, did you design the one with the twiggy looking girl? No, Nathan, I did not design that t-shirt. That t-shirt was designed by Chris Peel. Chris Peel designed most of the early ground control shirts of that era that you're thinking about. Chris Peel was also the artist who designed the branding for NIM, 4x4, and Vicious. He did the Cobra, he did the 4x4 Classic logo, he did the NIM logo, he did the NIM Owl. He worked for Daily Bread doing their layout and design in the early 2000s. He also worked for DNA Magazine in the UK before that. He is a legendary artist, and he is the very first person I interviewed on the Done and Outblading podcast. So if you look back at the videos, check out the interview with Chris Peel. But yeah, he pretty much was the branding genius behind Rat Tail. And then, and then we work with other artists like Baytall, myself, Adam Mara. And Max Power. Julian Isaac, rest in peace. That is right. Such a sad passing of Julian, who's a great dude. Really a good friend. Very sad for his brother, William. I do have a lot of footage of Julian and William and Ryan Stevens for a section I'm going to be working on. Now, if you missed the edit, we'll start it again. We'll watch this again. This is all unseen footage from Austin, Texas, from the mid-20-teens. That includes Andrew Broom and Julian Isaac, William Isaac. So yeah, rest in peace, Julian. Carl Newman, next Saturday night, 9 to midnight blade session at Taz in Montreal. So Montreal, I mentioned, is the closest town to me, 2 hours. And I was going to go to Florida for Frankie Morales Invitational. That was Julian Isaac, rest in peace. I was going to go to the Frankie Morales Invitational in Florida, but I'm not. So I believe I will go to Montreal next Saturday for the session at Taz because I have not been there since COVID. And I love Montreal. Amazing skaters, amazing scene. So many cool people from France, awesome parks, and the food, unbelievable. Chinatown there, really good. So yeah, Carl, I hope to see you next Saturday if all goes as planned. Paul Cargill. I did a video interview with Shima at the launch of NIM when he came to the UK. I'll send you a link. It was really interesting with his thoughts about where the industry was going at the time. Cool. Yeah, send me that. I'd be interested in reading it. And thanks for featuring the Flavor Crew. Eric, you're welcome. Eric, I look forward to seeing you next time I'm in Columbus. And we can go do some big wheel blading because always a fun town to skate in. All right. And Green Clover X, thank you. It's a little trimmed up. I'm actually going to get a haircut this weekend. I don't know if you have seen the show on Raised by Whoops. It's a kind of sci-fi show, and everyone's got a really cool mullet in that show. And I think I'm going to go for the mullet look, the Raised by Whoops mullet. So you have to let me know what you think after I cut my hair. All right. So let me see here. I'm going to put this full screen for a second, and I'm going to see if I have anything else to show you. Is there anything anyone wants to see? I have definitely some old videos that I've made. I have trying to see if there's anything that I have on my computer you haven't seen yet. Oh, I know what we can watch. Let me see if this works. Yeah, let's do this one. All right. All right. Well, oh, look at that. My screen is cut in half. Do you guys still hear me? Am I still there? Let me know. I see my screen cut in half right now. All right. There we go. It's starting to play again. I'm not sure if I'm still with you guys because my screen seems to have gone away. Let me see. I'm still here. We hear you and half of your face. Well, that's awesome. All right. Okay, I'm going to put on this video to see if I could figure out. Maybe I can remove myself. Okay, I'm going to try to remove myself and go back in. If I lose you guys, then it was a great episode. Otherwise, All right, I'm resetting up my camera. Everybody, sorry for the technical difficulties. What is going on here? All right, my camera has decided not to work for some reason. Well, everyone, I'm sure you can hear me, but for some reason, I've got no video. And it won't let me switch to my webcam. Settings, making camera. Well, all right. I'm back onto my webcam. Nope, GoPro. Oh, we're back. All right. There we go, everybody. I made it back. I believe you should be able to see me now. So this video we're watching right now is United Front. I apologize for the technical difficulty. This is the first video I made after moving to San Diego, and it was really cool. Like Kinley, this trick, full cab alley topsail in my school, was absolutely mental. And skating with all these guys. This was before I was making videos for Daily Bread. So this was in New York City. That was actually on a trip for Daily Bread. That was from the Daily Bread episode. The New York trip had Frank Kamai on the cover, interviews with Mike Johnson, and I organized a whole New York episode trip. And then we have Grant Thurston, who passed away. Around that time, he was best friends with Chris Fleener. So yeah, going around Orange County and LA, and well, most of this is Orange County and San Diego, but man, there's so many crazy skaters there at this time. This was the first trick I ever filmed somebody do at San Diego, which was Mike Lee's Disaster Fish Brain. And he was one of the first people after Brian Bell to disaster that rail, because Brian Bell disaster royaled it. Then obviously Fraser disaster to top horned it. Connor 450 back royaled it. Nick Wood disaster. What did Nick Wood do? I forgot what Nick Wood did. So Bellini clips. I do not. I mean, I had Bellini clips in the videos, obviously, that we're watching. Now, as far as I haven't found any Bellini clips, the raw footage of it. The thing is, a lot of the tapes from United Front, Last Call, were recorded over with 4x4 footage, because tapes were really expensive back then, and recorded over. Hard drives were expensive. It's hard to store stuff. So a lot of this original footage from this era of my filming from about 99 to 2001, I don't have the raw tapes anymore, which is unfortunate. And I definitely regret, it's one of my regrets is not having it. Now, this is Sandro Timoteo, Lily. He lived in Montreal for a while. Awesome skater, still shreds it super hard. He is one of the nicest dudes you'll ever meet. Yeah, super awesome. I'm glad he's still skating. And I actually just met him for the first time in person. Well, this came out in 2001 or 2000. Yeah, 2000. Met him for the first time in person 2 years ago in Montreal. So, 20 years after this video came out, I finally met him in person. All right, sorry. Jet, do you know if anyone trying to digitize all the Daily Breads? I have no idea. I used to have them all. I used to have every magazine ever made, pretty much. And unfortunately, I'd lost most of them when moving to Texas. I mean, when moving back to Texas from California. I still have some, but I don't have them. I know it's a lot of work, but there's probably someone sitting there scanning all these Daily Breads. And I believe Brian Bell was the first person to disaster at rail, yes. Is there a name for that Aaron Dazan double sole ankle twister trick? Now, in Urban Decay, that was Grant Thurston, who I'd mentioned had passed away. And he called it a biscuit, I believe, was the name of the trick. Biscuit. That's what I'm going to go with. And yeah, Nick Wood hit the kind grind. And that was in episode 9 of the Vault. Or no, that was in the Uncut series. One of the last Uncut series had Nick Wood doing it. I believe it was the Rat Pack section from Lean the Blind is where he did that video, that trick, the disaster kind grind. And we do talk about that in Damien Wilson's podcast interview. And we also talk about where Nick Wood is. So if you're interested in what happened to Nick Wood, check out the Damien Wilson podcast episode on Done Now Blading. So yeah, Paul was in the Rat Pack section, I believe. That was because I haven't done too many uncut sections from Lean the Blind. I did Haffy and the Rat Pack, which was the Rat Pack section was all people who rode for Rat Tail brands. It's kind of like the Friends section. All right, Biscuit it is. And Biscuit was also the lead singer of a really awesome Texas punk band from the 80s called The Dicks. So a little information. So yeah, so I had this section in this video, and then in Quattro, I had a Peru section. And the reason I had these sections, because I didn't film any of this stuff in Peru with Sandro or the Peru section. There's a guy who lived in San Diego. His name was Kali Hoffman, and he was from Peru, and he was really good friends with all these skaters. And he was a dual citizenship, Swiss and Peruvian national. And he filmed all these guys and brought the footage to me in San Diego. For both videos, he contributed to footage. So that was really awesome of him. And thank you, Kali, for doing that. So yeah, that's how I got this footage. Now this spot, Garfield ledges. These were ledges over by my house in San Diego. Legendary spot. And I loved skating these. This is where in a Quattro, I do a true fish brain cess slide on these. I did a lot of tricks on these ledges. I don't think any of them were ever filmed, which was the case with most of my skating. Was, I was always filming but never getting filmed. So, and then obviously you've got name of the school, the one at Haffy 720. And Max, that's very true. And I'm glad you know them, because I actually went to their very last show ever in I don't know, it was like a Halloween show in like 2014 or something like that. So that was pretty rad. But yeah, the Garfield ledges were really rad, and there was another school just like them in San Diego. It was like a replica school. And this was another ledge right here that was really rad by our house. And one day we were skating this ledge. It might have been this day, actually. And a cop came by, and he was watching us skate. And he was really cool. He was like, oh, my kids skate, blah, 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 whatever, small talking. He left, and like 5 minutes later, another cop showed up and gave us all tickets for skating. So yeah, that was awesome. And Extreme Clover X, no problem. Oh, every video has been posted so many times now, and some of them are like, I try to find some of the old sections and stuff, and the quality is so bad. So I'm trying to go through and remaster them and re-upload these sections, but everything takes time. That's one reason I'm going to be kind of, not doing the pre-recorded interviews anymore. I'm going to go live because they do take a lot of time, and I'd like to focus that time and energy on doing other things like remastering these videos and creating new content. So yeah. And also I would never do any physical violence on anyone anyway, so you were totally fine. And yeah, this was I really like, people ask me what videos I like a lot. This video I thought came out really cool, and it was the first video I made living there, and it was actually, I was going to distribute myself. Angie Walton made me do it through Daily Bread, and then ended up not paying me any royalties off of it. And then I finally, after months and months, like, she ended up giving me a laptop, and was it. So, and I sold quite a bit of this video. So I always got pretty ripped off on all the video projects I ever did. So that was just, another video that I had a bad time with getting paid. The video before this, Last Call, was distributed by Video Action Sports. It sold a lot of, I talked to some shops, it sold, several thousand copies in Europe. They said I only sold 15 copies in Europe. So, nothing I could do about it. So yeah. And Dougie, first time catching live. Thank you so much. This is a new format for me, so it's still a little rough as I'm getting used to speaking. The shows start out a little slow for me, but I'm trying to focus more on doing live content, live interviews. So these shows are kind of a practice. I'm also trying to figure out what people want to see. So make sure and leave any comments, in this chat on content you would like to see me discuss in these live chats. Right now, I've been doing some, industry, new products, things I've been talking about, new videos. Today we covered Fugi's new video. We did Walt Austin's new 40 y'all edit. If you haven't seen that, if you weren't here from the beginning, check out Walt Austin's new edit. It's absolutely amazing. Great edit to start out the new year. Link in the description below. So yeah, and I also have a bunch of new merch. I mentioned that earlier. You can check that out on the website, thenandnowbaiting.com. I made all sorts of banners for this show. So you can support this channel through Patreon. I have a website, Patreon, at thenandnowbaiting at patreon.com. And if you do support this channel's Patreon, you'll get exclusive content not available on this channel. You'll also be entered into monthly drawings of giveaways of Then Now Blading merch and things from my personal collection. So last month, I gave away a set of hydrogen 60mm wheels from my collection, unused, of course, brand new. So that was a cool prize. And yeah, every month at the end of the month, I do I spin a wheel with everybody's names on the Patreon, and somebody gets something cool. And like I said, I do have the Now Blading merch available on the website. And, another way to support this channel, if you're interested, is you can do super chats and super stickers in the live chat. But yeah, so let me know what you want to see all in the future. Launder says, Tracy White's Blade Museum has a bunch of zines. I just saw the videos on YouTube the other day. Now, I've been to Tracy White's Blade Museum, and he does have a bunch of magazines. But I wouldn't say he's a definitive magazine collection. Tracy has a lot of stuff people send him. He might have got more stuff. It's been 2017 since I was there last. There's a guy in England. I can't remember his name. He has a Blade Museum too. It's also called the Blade Museum, and he has a lot more magazines. Magazines is one of the things he's focusing on obtaining, but he still doesn't even have them all. When I was in the height of collecting, I had magazines from Japan, Poland, all these Eastern European countries, tons of magazines. And, like I said, I still have some left, but I probably had, close to 1,000 blading magazines, from all the issues of every one. So kind of a bummer to lose those. And the zines, I had so many zines from the 90s, all lost, including Arlo's zines. Arlo had a zine in the 90s, which was actually the first zine I ever saw, because Arlo is from Dallas, but he went to University of Texas in Austin, and I met him there one day, and he gave me a zine. And then it was not when he went to university. He was actually already living in California. I was skating at the university. I saw a guy skating a handrail. It was about a 5-stair square rail. It was Arlo. He just had the first Senate sample wheels, and he had a copy of the zine. So it's the first time I met him, first time I saw Senate wheels, and the first time I got his zine. So that was a cool story, meeting Arlo. And let's see. And Travis, thank you. I don't do public speaking either, so it's definitely a work in progress. But that's what this show, Going Live, is all about. Getting better, interacting with you all, answering some questions, showing you guys some videos, going over some content, and finding out what you want to see on the channel. Because I plan on doing lots of different shows, like I had mentioned. Now, this guy, Dustin Jones, absolutely insane skater. And, you know, he was only skating. I mean, he skated for a while, but he quit skating shortly after this to focus on his career. But, man, he was definitely a stunt skater. And I went on tour with him on the Razors Blitz tour when you skate for Razors. Very cool dude. Yeah, there's a lot of bladers on social media. It's definitely a great way to find out some new skaters. I do like that idea. So yeah, we'll see about doing something like that in the future. I'm definitely trying to promote, and the Goods show I'll do every episode. I'm trying to promote 4 different YouTube channels that you might not have seen that are about my size or smaller, new up and coming channels. Because there's a lot of YouTube channels out there, which is pretty awesome. You know, they have a pretty good following and they have some pretty good content. So try to promote those as much as possible. I think everybody should be promoting each other as much as possible. This transfer, okay, people ask me some of the craziest tricks I filmed. This transfer is one of them. Absolutely gnarly transfer at La Jolla High School in San Diego. So crazy. And Aaron Dazan was really good. And Aaron Dazan blew his knee out filming this section. So it was pretty much the end of his career. He went to disaster, a handicap rail. It was like jump over wall, jump over sidewalk to handicap rail, and he hit the rail. Well, he hit his kneecap on the end of the rail. So it's a very like started rail. He hit his kneecap on it and never skated since. He went on he was a born again Christian, so he went on some sort of mission to, I believe, India for several years after this video was filmed. So total bummer that he got injured like that. I'm not sure what his status is. I haven't heard from him since. Max, what was Arlo's Zine called? I do not remember. Maybe I'll bring Arlo on. I'll probably bring Arlo on when I do my show on zines. So he'll be one of the contributors if he's down to join. And we will talk about it then. And Lucky, I know you're itching for it. It'll be up soon. I promise you. All 3 parts of the interview. It'll be episode 20 of the Done Now Blading podcast. And then this was the first section I filmed with Shima. You know, when we were spending a lot of time together, this one came out really good. It's also followed by the very first Chris Haffey section I ever filmed, which if you haven't seen this video, it definitely has some really good skating in it and really captures the San Diego scene in 2000. So yeah, it's all filmed in 2000, right when I moved there from Austin, Texas. Oh, and Paul likes variety. Thank you. I want to switch it up as much as possible. I will be dabbling a little bit into crossing over into big wheel, not a ton, but because I will focus mainly big wheel on the Big Wheel Blading YouTube channel in the future, but I will be doing some crossover with people who do crossover. So there's a lot of people crossing over into other disciplines, and you know, I'll go ahead and talk to those people and talk about their skating and some of the creative styles of skating that have developed from crossing over disciplines. And Dustin Jones clips and stills video. Yes, that was a great tour. And Renee, welcome to the channel, another San Diego skater. All right, being in SD at that time, I can imagine you crossed blades with B-Bell quite a bit. Did you guys ever collab? So the first time I met Brian Bell was the first time the first time I met Brian Bell was on the Birth Tour in Austin, Texas with Chris Edwards. And then I met him that same year. Me and Lonnie got to stay with him when we went to California when I was filming Urban Decay. We stayed with him in San Diego and we got on well. And then when I moved to San Diego and I started filming with these guys, Brian Bell and I were never that close because he was a little bit, felt like I was stepping on his territory filming with so many skaters. So I think he was a little annoyed with me filming with like Haffey and those guys. So we were never really that close at the beginning of early 2000s, but we did become better friends after that initial period. But we never collaborated on anything. And we didn't really see each other that much either because we were totally in different scenes, skating wise and music wise and everything like that. But he was always a really nice guy and fun to see. Usually when I saw him, it was with Kato, because him and Kato were great friends, and Kato would have bonfires, or he would have people come to his house and make paella, things like that. So yeah. And then Josh Acosta, love this yawn 100%. Josh, thank you so much. Josh also has a really awesome YouTube channel where he documents his skating and gives some tutorials. And I know he hasn't been as active lately, but I'm glad to see you on this live chat, Josh. And I hope to see you in Colorado sometime. He lives in Colorado Springs and holding it down there. So yeah, good skating there. And if you do like big wheel blading, every year they have the Garden of the Gods there. It's like a national park and state park, one or two, and they close the roads to traffic, and all the Denver people head there and they big wheel blade down the mountain, which that looks really fun right outside of Colorado Springs. And then Chalk Knees, loving all your content so far. The Vault is a gold mine. Thank you, Chalk Knees. The Vault is, I have so much content and I'm putting it out too slowly. Renee, this is my video, Urban Decay. Came out in 2000. The first video I filmed when I lived in San Diego. This is the Chris Haffey section. Laurel Street Gap. Very cool. And yeah, so as far as the Vault goes, it's I have a lot of tapes. It took me months to capture them all. And then I have to go through each one and cut down all the BS, make sure there's nothing stupid on there. And then, I do the process where I watch it and like I talk over it, and it's a lot of work. And I'm gonna be doing the Vault episodes in a live format here in the future. So if you're just tuning in now, the Vault I will show it here like this. I'll be talking about the footage, kind of like I did with this video a little bit, but more in detail about the spots and the skaters. And then I will be doing Q&As after the Vault sessions. So starting with episode 11 of Vault, that's how that will be. And that's going to allow me to create more content and do more episodes of the Vault faster, because right now, at the rate it's going with all the work I've been doing on editing these interviews and the Vault and stuff, like, you're not going to see all the Vault episodes for like 10 years because there's so many. So if we could speed it up and we could have more Vault issues coming out faster through the live format. And sick. I'm sorry to hear you're injured again, but I'm glad you got out, Josh. So yeah, hopefully you're more healed up by the summertime. Get back to skating. Maybe do a little bit more urban cruising to for your recovery time. And Haffey, this is something we talked about in Connor's interview. So I interviewed Connor O'Brien. The interview premieres on Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we talk about how Haffey skated the classic rims, and what Haffey could have achieved in like maybe a more modern rim. Because, he did a leap of faith, jump leap of faith in those skates. Like, they weren't necessarily the greatest skates of that era, but he did some of the greatest skating of that era on those remedies. So pretty fascinating. And Connor talks about, his time in remedies. We talk about why he didn't get a pro skate. We talk about all sorts of stuff with Connor. Great skater. So make sure to tune in on Tuesday, 7 p.m. for a Connor O'Brien interview here on the Then and Now Blading YouTube channel. And I want to say, if you're not following this channel on YouTube, please subscribe to it and hit the bell icon so you can be notified when I go live, because it usually doesn't show up in the list of videos. But when I go live for the podcasts and for the Vault and this show, you'll be notified. So just hit that bell icon. And if you do like this show, make sure to hit the like button. Leave any comments you might have in the comments area below as well. Thank you, Hans. And how many of you have not seen this video before? Because I feel like this is kind of like a, okay, right here, that was his first time ever doing that. That was Switch, and that was his first time doing that Switch True Soleil. So I really enjoyed this video, making this video, meeting everybody. Got John Elliott back there with his long hair, Chris Haffey with his long rail grind. Pretty good stuff. And now in the credits section of this video. Yeah, I mean, right when they quit, was it right when they quit Razor, or I don't remember, but yeah, they definitely got Haffey on Mind Game. And hearing that story about some people who couldn't get on Mind Game, I think it was Murda. Billy O'Neill talked about Murda not getting on Mind Game, which is pretty crazy. What's John Elliott doing these days? John Elliott, I'm not sure. I haven't actually talked to John in probably 8 years or so. Last I heard, he's living in East County in San Diego. He's not involved with skating. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what he's up to these days, but I hope he is doing well. So yeah, this video, is it on YouTube? It's probably on YouTube. If not, I will be uploading it soon. This will be one of the first videos that goes up on YouTube, so you can watch it with the original soundtrack. And we got Hanshi Walton, Daily Bread. So yeah, this is where I worked at Daily Bread. When I first moved there, I was working at Daily Bread, and I worked there for 2 years. And yeah, it was definitely an interesting 2 years, that's for sure. All right, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any last questions for me, let me know. I'm gonna, otherwise, I'll probably call it a day. You want to remind everybody that I do have new Done Now Blading merchandise available, and you can check it out on the website. I've got the shirt on, the Big Block logo right here, and we have the Business Blading logo and some cups as well. So pretty stoked on all that stuff. We do have these Big Wheel Blading merch as well. Hats, 5-panel hats, shirts, sweaters. I have links to all of that in the description below. So yeah, and I also have, let me see, some new questions. Oh, let me see. Who shot that grumpy clip of John Elliott in a quattro when he's like, "Get the camera out of my face"? That would have been me. Because I had a thing, I like putting the camera in people's faces and getting reaction, and he didn't like it. So just Stockwell, there's a video with Stockwell too. Could you piece together a Frank Stoner edit? So would you like to see a best of Frank Stoner edit? Is that what you're saying? I do have old Frank Stoner profiles I made in old videos. And Frank Stoner will be a guest on the podcast here, and once it starts going live. I was also thinking about, I'm not sure if it's possible, but setting a set time for these shows, so it's always the same time of day. But I'm not sure what days works best for people, because people are from all over the place. So how's this time slot work? Would you rather see it in the evening? Let me know. All right, Frank Stoner throwback edit. It's a possibility. I mean, Frank was really good back in the day, and especially skate park. He could do anything. on skate park. Switch natural, amazing. And Renee, this was a question I addressed, but I did film from 2012 to 2017 a lot, and I have filmed some since, and I do have footage. That will be a video. It's just I'm having a really hard time finding time to focus on it with this YouTube channel. And that's one reason I'm going to stop doing pre-recorded interviews and pre-recorded vaults and go live. So I have more time to focus on that video, more content, because it's just, it takes much time. Don't make any money off of it. And, I'd rather spend that time doing some other things, doing other content. And Frank Stoner had a video part in one of my old videos, America's Army, I believe. I'm not sure. I will look at it tonight, which video it is. And in the next live stream, episode 4 of Going Live, I will show the Frank Stoner edit that I did from back then, or watch the entire video that was in one of my old videos. And Josh, that would be awesome. I have links to the t-shirts in the description below. DenNowBlading.com for Den Now Blading shirts, BigWillBlading.com for the Big Will Blading gear. And that looks like all the questions. Last call for questions you may have before we call it a day. And you're welcome. Okay, Dogie, did I ever film with Aragon? And if so, was he quick to get stuff done? To be honest with you, even though he did live in Escondido, which is not far from where I was, I don't think I ever filmed with him because, usually I was filming at that point when Aragon was living there, I was mainly filming for projects for Rat Tail. And he wasn't writing for Rat Tail. And then when I made the Razors video, I don't think he was on Razors, or he definitely was on the AM team. He was on the AM team then. He probably was on Razors, but he wasn't on the AM team. So no, I never filmed with Aragon. I might have filmed one clip of him, but he is one person I never actually filmed with. So I cannot answer you if he was quick at getting stuff done. I do know that when you go to, I'm have some water right now, Green Clover. I do know when you go to Denver and you drive around with somebody from Denver and you look at all the spots that are amazing, you're like, oh, look at that spot. And they're like, oh, Aragon did 450 back royale, 720 out or whatever. Like every single spot. Like there's not one spot in Denver that you can look at and not have somebody say what trick Aragon did on it. And Green Clover X, right when you said that, I was getting a dry mouth and I drank some water. So we're gonna have a bunch of lights shining on me, so it gets me dehydrated. So yeah. All right. Well, everyone, I appreciate you joining me today. I want to say that tomorrow night at 7 p.m., I will be doing a live interview here with Brandon Balog. And Brandon is a creator of a zine called Roll Zine. And he sent me these. They're like newspaper style, really cool, and lots of skating content that he shot. And this one came out to coincide with the Great Value video by Ryan Benner, which we watched earlier. There's a link to that. There's a link to this zine in the description. You can order these. It's really cool, awesome quality. And he also released a best of that has the first 9 zines he did between 2012 and 2007. And this is really cool. It's a really cool publication. The layout's really great. He's a designer, cool interviews, awesome writing. Very cool for your collection. So I definitely recommend checking these out. And I'll be talking to Brandon tomorrow night, 7 p.m. here live about this zine and the Great Value video. And yeah, should be pretty interesting. He's going to be my first live chat. And I'll be doing lots of live chats outside of the podcast. So they won't be full podcast episodes. We'll be talking about one topic, like the zine. We'll get into skating a little bit, of course, and then there'll be the podcasts. So yeah. I want to thank everybody for checking in. Like I said before, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon to be notified of all updates, uploads, so you know when I go live, when I do interviews, everything like that. So goodbye, everybody. Thank you again for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.